Donald Trump's one-time personal attorney, host of the Mea Culpa with Michael Cohen podcast, and author of the new tell-all memoir, Disloyal, a New York Times bestseller, we should note. And Michael, thank you for coming back. I appreciate it.
Always good to see you, Joy.
Always great to have you back on. And I want to wish you a happy Yom Kippur, because I know that is why you are on the phone with us. So I appreciate you being here and taking the time on an important day. So you testified in congressional testimony. This was in February of 2019, that you said that when telling me in 2008 or 2009 that he was cutting employees' salaries in half, including mine, that Trump showed you that what he claimed was a $10 million IRS refund. And he said he couldn't believe how stupid the government was in giving him that refund. Do you believe that throughout the time that you were working for Donald Trump, he was cheating about his taxes and lying on his taxes?
So, Joy, let me start with what I know and to which I testified before the House Oversight Committee in February of 2019. What I stated was that Trump fraudulently inflated the value of his properties in order to receive favorable terms from lenders, only then to underreport their value for tax purposes. Basically, what I did is I called him our liar and cheat, that everything he says is a conflation of the truth. And I finalized by saying that the valuation of Donald Trump's assets is so disproportionate to their real worth that we have no idea the true valuation of anything that he owns. I mean, it's gaslighting to the extreme. Trump has lied for so long about literally every facet of his life that the real truth is, according to the New York Times, it's shocking.
Yeah. And you're a lawyer. When you look at the levering of the assets, as you said, so you don't really know what they're worth, but they go up in value when he wants to claim insurance on them and when he wants to sell banks on saying he's a good risk, and then they go down in value when it's time to file his taxes. Do you believe that in addition to potential tax fraud, that Donald Trump has committed potential insurance fraud?
No, absolutely. I mean, I talked about that as well. I provided information with that to the House Oversight, both the Senate and the House Select Committees on Intelligence. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But you know, one of the things that I also testified that I wanted to state was that, you know, now I call him our commander in chief. I mean, Trump is compromised to the core. The man has literally spent his entire business career inflating his net worth, and it's not just inflating it for tax purposes. It's also to feed his ego. And that's an insatiable need.
Yeah.
It's all to feed his self-worth.
Because he wants people to think he's a billionaire. We know that the New York Times reported...
I mean, I talk about this throughout the book Disloyal, and I talk about it on Mea Culpa.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about his ego.
Yeah.
And he's willing to jeopardize the United States of America in order to fulfill that.
I want to talk about what else he's willing to jeopardize and who else. We know that the New York Times reports that he's got $421 million in loans and debts, that he could face foreclosure on some of his properties should he win re-election. They'd have to decide whether, you know, these companies have to decide whether they want to foreclose on the president of the United States if he wins. But he also involved Ivanka Trump, his apparent favorite child. Here's what the New York Times reports. Trump's private records show that his company once paid $747,622 in fees to an unnamed consultant for hotel projects in Hawaii and Vancouver, British Columbia. Ivanka Trump's public disclosure forms, which he filed when joining the White House staff in 2017, show she had received an identical amount through a consulting company she co-owned. I mean, this is someone who Trump reportedly thought about making his running mate in 2016, that he wanted to maybe have Ivanka as his running mate. But
I mean, you do have to laugh. Yeah. Honestly, Joy, you have to laugh at the sheer stupidity of that. I mean, never in history before has anything this ridiculous ever been, proposed. And I truly believe that what we're seeing right now is the beginning of the end for Donald Trump. I mean, it's not just now about his taxes, but, we've seen the racist language. We've seen the horrible handling of COVID-19. We're beginning to see this house of cards crumble, before our eyes.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.